ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Walking with J.Beau. Hope everybody's having a beautiful day today. We are going to walk about 5 miles, 5.5. We're going the way that I took a wrong turn the last time. See if we can not do something dumb twice. Might be a challenge for me. Anyway, I was thinking, following up on as President Trump is speaking this afternoon, late this afternoon, in Michigan at some kind of policeman's thing. It looks like a podium was set up in front of some police cars indoors. So Trump is hitting Michigan, which right now, by the way, if I'm honest, Trump and Kamala are tied. And you know, that was like leading me, and that's, you know, the fake polling has Kamala ahead 4 points, but the real polling, they're about tied. So, you know, I was thinking about that, and I'm thinking, why isn't Trump like further ahead than he is now? Okay, he should be ahead of Kamala. She should be in the rearview mirror. And you know, the whole election is going to come down to Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin, basically. And it's a damn shame because, you know, it's, if Trump could lead by 5 points or 6 points or even 8 points, like the polls had him leading Biden, which I still say those were probably real numbers. But perfect example is Nevada. Nevada has been a Democrat win for the past handful of elections because of Las Vegas, mainly. It's a big liberal place. Trump's been leading there. He's leading there now. And you know, so it makes me wonder about the polling, because you have a state like Nevada, which has been affected by immigration, okay? That seems to be the driving factor in those polls. You have states like Michigan who have taken in a lot of immigrants, illegals. And you have Maine here that's taken in a lot of illegals. Not as many as other states, but still, you know, nonetheless. And the other Sun Belt state is Arizona. So what I don't understand about Arizona is they have been inundated with illegals, border problems, and Trump's not running away with it in Arizona. Now, when Biden was in the White House, he was. He was up 8 points at one point in Nevada over Biden, 7 points in Arizona. And now the fake news media is trying to say that Kamala is leading Trump by 4 points in Nevada and a couple of points in Arizona. And that's just, there's no way that she has made 8 to 12 points where Biden didn't even have a lead that big before the debate where he fell apart off the wheels, or the wheels came off the cart for him. So, you know, it's one of those things where things just don't make sense. I believe Trump is leading in Nevada and Arizona. The polling that I trust says he is. I just really would like to see a bigger lead than that, because there should be one. Kamala's a fool. Everybody knows that. she's a terrible candidate. Well, looks like they went through here and cleaned some brush. So, you know, here's a perfect example. I was looking at the Hill Harris poll for Pennsylvania. Right now, with the two-way race, they have Trump up by 5 points. And then you go to the five-way race, which has the independents in there, which is supposed to take votes away from Trump. It says he's ahead by 8. So I'm thinking, this doesn't even make sense. So, and the poll was dated with the same date. So the polls are just really stupid right now. And the other problem we have is we have a difficult time gauging what's going on because the media is astroturfing. You're not getting anything accurate in the media with regard to the polls, campaigning, rhetoric, logistics. They are on a full-blown propaganda campaign in favor of Kamala. And we knew that was going to happen. We talked about it in my walks weeks ago after Biden was embarrassed in a debate that the media conspired to push him out. It worked. Polling companies pushed him out. It worked. And so they're in full bore right now, as expected. And the thing is with that is, picture you're going to have a battle on a battlefield. You strategically place your armies, you have your artillery units, you have your Air Force, your tank corps, armored corps, and whatever else you're going to be using. You got your spy planes ahead of time to put, you know, where you should be attacking. I'm talking about old school warfare. They don't do that anymore. Now they just strategically bomb everything. But picture having two armies, they face each other. You know your enemy's strengths and weaknesses. At least you hope you figured that out the right way. The other side hid their weaknesses the best as possible. And then, you know, the battle starts. Well, as soon as the battle starts, everything's changing real time. And things are going like, it's crazy, okay? And you have to have good leadership at the top to organize everything. And we don't have that. We don't have it in the Republican Party, and they don't have it in the Democrats. Although I will say the Democratic Party has their crap together a little more. But basically though, is right now we're in a bare knuckle brawl where all of this planning for the fight doesn't matter. All of this, you know, you set up your archers over here and your artillery and your musket brigades or whatever you used to do in the military. And now everybody's just out in the open field with bayonets, trench shovels, whacking at each other. And the last man standing who's gonna win. So that's the best way I can describe it right now. It's not even organized chaos. Well, it's kind of almost like organized chaos. But it's clear that Harris is pushing a campaign of hope, happiness, and they are pushing the campaign that Trump is all about chaos, division, hate. It's the same thing they've been pushing all along. None of that addresses whether or not people can afford to eat. So ultimately, in the end, that stuff isn't going to work. But it is going to keep the campaigns closer in the polls, unfortunately. I don't want to go into November 5th on election day Trump's winning in all the states, and then we wake up the next day and he lost 3 of those and he lost the election. That's the problem I have. And now they have this system with early voting, and they come right out on TV saying, well, the results tonight might not necessarily be the results of the election. Once all these mail-in votes are counted and added, results could change. Well, isn't that pretty convenient for people that cheat? All they have to do is just cheat overnight. The media will excuse it. So the only way that doesn't work is if it's not close. They can't cheat that well to do that. So I'm just stating facts. This is not going to be fun. It's not going to be an easy ride. Maybe between now and the election things will open up, but the Kamala campaign knows that, so that's why she's not debating. Trump wanted to do 3 debates. He wanted to do town halls, and I think Trump should just go ahead and do all these town halls and let Kamala hide. And they're hiding Kamala. They're doing the same rope-a-dope they did with Biden, which also concerns me because it was somewhat effective. I still don't think Biden won legally, legitimately. But the fact is he did, and not really very much was done about it. So they know they can do that again, and not very much will be done about it, especially if Kamala wins. So they can't afford to have Trump as president again at all costs. So take that as you will. It's pretty obvious they're going to cheat as much as they can get away with. They're cheating now with the media and the polling. So I don't have any answers. They're very difficult to come by right now. We're going to have to live in a state of anxiety until we get closer to the election. You'll have a better feeling of it after the debate. But my point is, this may be the only debate that Kamala agrees to, and it's going to be on a very, very, very friendly network to Kamala. So it looked like she was going to agree to 2 debates, but it looks like she backed out of one of them. So they're definitely hiding her as a strategy because they believe they're leading in the polls. And they know if she talks to the public and does interviews, they won't be leading in the poll. She's a damn idiot. So the good news is it's Kamala. She's not going to be able to maintain this until the election. I really believe that. Because she can't help it. She'll say something dumb. She already did, writing an executive order to ban assault rifles. I mean, it doesn't get any more crazy than that. Look at this guy's garden here. He's got his vegetables growing, his irrigation system. Pretty cool. So we're walking on. So they're playing the hide Kamala game right now, and you know, all you're going to see is scripted sit-down interviews, edited 60 minutes, things like that. And Trump's just going to have to find a way to get around that. He's going to have to use the internet. He should just go back on Twitter. I know that doesn't help his stocks or his company, but if he wants to win, millions more people are going to see him on there. And he's made a few posts this week with commercials. So I don't think per se that it is actually Trump making these posts. I think it's Dan Scavino, his web guy. Either or. He's got a lot of new ads up on his Twitter page, and he posted a AI generated photograph of Kamala speaking to a crowd with the communist hammer and sickle in the background on a flag. So they need to push that Kamala is a communist, because she is a Marxist, and they need to push the economy. So I think Trump's going to buckle down and do a smart campaign. But, you know, he defended his comments attacking Kamala, and he ought to just stop doing that. I'm telling you, it's not good. You're trying to win independent voters. You already have your own voters. It really serves them no purpose to do that. Attack her on the economy and being a communist. Just my opinion. It's the only thing I see Trump doing wrong. But well, it's overcast today, about 70 to 75 degrees. It's a nice steep hill here. Got a nice breeze today. It's not as humid as it was yesterday, but it's still a little warm. Come off to the side here. I can hear a car coming. I want to see what's going on out here. Well, let's walk down here on this long wooded plank. It's getting chewed up. Tells me they've had some very heavy equipment on it with tracks. Let's see what's up this way. You got a platform over here. We'll go up here first and look over the ridge, and then we'll come back and check this out. Wow. This is going to be a beautiful view this fall, because this fall, that is all going to be foliage. It's orange, reds, as far as the eye can see. I'm definitely going to be coming here. We got a bench right here. Looks like other people come here too. So we will come back here. That'll be really awesome. Isn't that cool? That, I mean, seriously, that is going to be an amazing vista. As far as the damn eye can see. So I hope you're enjoying the walk with me today. So Trump, okay, this is basically the gist of this. And it's the old saying that this is Trump's election to lose. Because right now, he should win. He should win easily. There shouldn't be any issues in the swing states. Biden and Kamala have scored no points there. Trump needs to be positive. He needs to stop attacking Kamala personally, talking about, you know, whether or not she's Indian or black or nobody knows. It's not important right now. It just isn't. Trump is trying to woo the black vote, and what I'm trying to say is some black people come over and vote for Trump. That's wonderful. They should. It's the smartest thing for black people. But that's not the way you should be doing that, hoping that they don't vote for her because she's not really black. That's identity politics. That's what the Democrats do, which is probably why they think that'll work. But it's not going to. So he needs to give up on that. Just tell black people the truth. Your economy was better when I was president. It will be again. Black communities will be better. I can fix this. I did it before. And what has the Biden-Harris administration done for you? So that's what he needs to do, in my opinion. That's common sense. You know, the thing is you know, Trump gets things under his skin and then he has to attack these people. And what I mean is there was some female columnists recently that Trump has given a campaign speech, and for some inexplicable reason he starts talking about this woman and attacking her personally because of something that she said about him. Well, she's anti-Trump. They're all going to say stuff about you, and she's a woman, so you attacking her absolutely serves your campaign no good purpose whatsoever. If you're trying to get the female vote, you're just acting like a typical male. attacking a female when she says something about you because you're a dominant male. And that's not what independents want to hear. So, just my opinion. Trump needs to focus his stuff, that's all I'm saying. And you're seeing that in the polls, even the crooked ones. Trump should be further ahead than he is, I guess is my point. And it's these self-inflicted things that, you know, nobody, I don't even know who the hell the woman was he was talking about. That's what kills me about it. It's not like he was talking about some congresswoman like AOC or, you know, this person is just a reporter that doesn't like Trump. He didn't like what he read. Well, either file a lawsuit against her for defamation or just win the election. Then you can make fun of her all you want to after that. But in the meantime, we got a war to win, you know? So he needs to get more focused, more energized. And I know it sounds crazy. Trump, always full of energy. But I think a lot of this stuff is really starting to get to him. And, you know, I don't blame him for it. He's been through hell. It's cost him hundreds of millions of dollars. And he had an election stolen from him. You know, he had prosecutions and civil suits. And he still has another civil suit coming up that the media doesn't talk about. But I researched this stuff. And there's a civil case made by 2 protesters outside Washington, D.C. And that time that the church across the street from the White House got set on fire, and the police were used and dispersed the crowd with tear gas. They tried to say that Trump did that. That was under his direction, his orders. Turns out it wasn't. But he had a civil lawsuit filed against him by 2 of the protesters. And that is starting to come around right now. And the Department of Justice, the DOJ, the same DOJ that coordinated and after Trump in New York to help prosecute Trump, the same DOJ is using federal attorneys because Trump was using presidential powers at the time with the immunity ruling by the Supreme Court. So now the Department of Justice is going to defend Trump because Trump has immunity as actions taken as president. So a civil lawsuit will get tossed, and that's why the DOJ put attorneys in there, and they actually announced that that's what they're going to pursue for the case to be tossed out because of presidential immunity. But the point is, the media is not talking about that stuff, and they're talking about what Trump says about women. What Trump says, you know, everything in the media is to make Trump look negative, so he needs to stop giving them ammunition. Now, the downside to that is, if Trump just talks about the economy, doesn't say anything controversial, the media starts talking about Kamala instead. So, there's that old adage that any press is good press, where they corrupt a media machine. I'm not sure. So I don't know what your comments or thoughts on that would be. I'd love to hear them. A lot of people don't like to hear, you know, negative things being said about Trump. But I've been to 5 rallies. I've literally lost sleep worrying about elections. Not so much this year. I still believe Trump's going to win. Okay, I do. But the problem is we know they're going to cheat. That's really the problem. He needs a big lead. So he needs to stop goofing off and focus like he doesn't want to go to prison for the rest of his life, because that's what's going to happen if he doesn't win. You would think he would be laser focused on everything, every little thing, because he's an old man. He's going to die in jail. He won't literally be in jail. He'll probably be under house arrest at Mar-a-Lago, and he would have to seek permission to leave the property to go somewhere so they could track his ankle bracelet, which is what he would have. And you know, I just don't think he wants to spend the rest of his life like that. And he needs to oh, look at that. That's so awesome. Two kids with scooters and their fishing poles. How Americana is that? That is so cool. So it looks like they're heading to the fishing hole on their electric scooters. Anyway, that's my thoughts on Trump. He's not doing as good a job as he could be, and he's still leading. So, you know, but he's got to get his crap together and focus. I don't know if that means firing his campaign team. You know, his campaign team might be telling him the same thing I'm telling him, and he's not doing it. So, you know, Trump is Trump. Trump's going to do what he wants to do. He believes attacking Kamala is going to be beneficial to him, like it was to Hillary, because nobody liked Hillary. But that might very well turn out to be a good strategy. You know, Trump's a genius like that. I'm not going to question that, but I just don't understand what he's doing. There's too much at stake, you know. I mean, I guess that's all I'm saying. We lose this election, the country's gone. It's never going to be here again, ever. This is it. So, you know, if you're one of those people willing to die for your country and protect liberty and freedom, you should be out getting people registered to vote. You should be, you know, doing all kinds of things. I've been peppering the internet with links for people to register to vote. Now, it's a statistical fact. You know, and the reason why I'm doing that on the internet is I am in ME2 in Maine. Trump is so far ahead in this district I'm walking through right now. He's 20 points ahead. He's going to win this electoral college vote easy. He could cancel the rest of his campaign and still win it. So that's one of those things that me going around here knocking on doors, are you voting for Trump? You know, it's not going to accomplish anything. But I do want to get involved with getting Jared Golden, the congressman, out of office. And you know what's annoying about Jared Golden is he's a blue dog Democrat. He tries to play independent, and it's keeping him afloat. But he went for the pro-ban assault rifles, and it really rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. He did a knee-jerk reaction after the mass shooting we had. He should have kept his mouth shut, because later on he changed his tune. He said, well, maybe people should just be required to register them and get a tax stamp. So now we have to register assault rifles. If he has his way, I mean, we don't now. If he has his way nationally, he will vote to support a national gun registry for assault style rifles, so they know who owns them, and people that shouldn't own them won't be able to get them. And it's like, how are you going to do that? How the hell are you possibly going to do that? You're going to mandate psychological exams for everybody that wants to buy one? Is it going to be an annual tax stamp, $200 a year or something, $50, whatever it is? Is it going to be $200 for a lifetime? You know, he didn't offer any specifics. Just, you're going to have to get a tax stamp. You know, he didn't say gun registry, but if you're going to get a tax stamp, you have to register your firearm with the government. In 1982, the assault rifle ban, the weapons ban, I should say, which banned machine guns, fully auto, that was one of the provisions, that the government cannot keep a gun registry. So that is laws passed by Congress. So it's irresponsible for him to say that. And what Illinois is doing right now is illegal, requiring citizens to register their firearms, and that's why the citizens aren't complying. So, I mean, they're not complying. And Pritzker hasn't done anything about it. Because he can't. I mean, you can't jail 2 million people for not complying. You just can't. So, I don't know what's going on with that. I don't know if, you know, typically when something like that happens, it opens up a black market. You know, people are going to build their own assault rifles illegally if they need to, and get the parts they need, cross over to another state, get what you need, and then come back. Because you can't order the stuff on the internet and have it delivered to your house if it's an illegal part for an illegal rifle that isn't registered, I would assume. If anybody from Illinois wants to explain that to me, I'm all ears. I mean, I'm just a person in Maine. I don't understand the entire country and all their laws and rules. I just know what I read, and I didn't read anything about that, but I would assume that they would require, they wouldn't be able to buy parts on the internet for illegal firearms, which are only legal if you register them. And then the other thing is you have a FOIA card, it's called. It's a firearms identification card. You have to provide an ID when you buy firearms. In other words, you have to have permission from the state government to be able to buy firearms. That's what that is. That on its face should violate the Constitution. And these blue states are just doing that anyway. They're just doing it. Courts be damned. Which wasn't a good decision for them to do, because eventually it's going to circle back on them with the Bruin decision with the Supreme Court and other firearm decisions by the Supreme Court. And there's other ones coming up. Next summer, I believe we're going to have the assault rifle one. That will have made its way through the lower courts and the appellate courts and appeals, and that might permanently erase Illinois' assault rifle ban and California's. So the Democrats, they have contingency plans. They will probably already have the stuff written up legally for legislation. For different possibilities. If the court rules this, then we'll change this law to include that, so that'll negate that. So they have all these tactics. And then the legislation that gets passed, people have to file lawsuits, and then, you know, 2 to 5 years later, the Supreme Court has another ruling removing the new law. So the Democrat plan, which to some degree is successful, is they are just lawfaring it, tying it up in the courts, passing what they want, and they just keep complicating the process. So the Supreme Court is going to have to come up with a ruling that is just going to put an end to all of that, because it's unsustainable. People get upset, and anyway, these people are tyrants. They're authoritarian tyrants. They wield their authority whenever they have it, no matter how big or how small. We saw that with flight attendants during COVID. they had the authority to police people on the plane and throw people off the plane if they wouldn't comply. And these flight attendants, who have never had any authority in their life at all, they were enjoying it. Yeah, well, I'm gonna get this guy in a MAGA hat thrown off the plane, then I can tell people about it on Facebook and I'll be a hero. So we saw a lot of that. So anyway, got a car coming. I'll go off to the side. I'll be nice. I'll be nice and compliant. I'll go off to the side. So little texting Betty doesn't run me over. So now I'm not going to miss my proper turn up ahead this time. So last time we went through here, there was a couple of deer hopping through here. Nothing out here today. As you can see, it's pretty wooded here. The crickets are extra loud today. So the good news, I guess, is what I was getting at about the election, is that Biden stepped down. The Democrats all got a breath of fresh air, and excuse me. And we have an election now. The good news is Kamala didn't run away with it. She had a big surge and she had a boost from the media, and she got a whole crap ton of money. And the best she could do is, if you average out about 120 polls, okay, Kamala's 3 points ahead nationally. If you go by the 3 polls that I trust, Trump is ahead by 1 point. Or tied. But that's the national popular vote, okay? That's the national popular vote. Which really doesn't mean anything with the Electoral College. But what does mean something with the Electoral College is RFK Jr. Now, Jill Stein and Cornel West is also on the ballot. Now, it surprises me that Cornel West is on the ballot because he's not somebody you would expect to be trying to steal Democrat votes. So I don't know what he's upset about. Doesn't matter. I haven't followed anything with him. He'll probably get 0.2% 0.2 of a percentage point of votes of people that don't like Trump, Kamala, or RFK. Jill Stein is going to be on the ballots in the swing states. So is Cornel West. And it looks like so is RFK. They're not going to be on every ballot across the country. So, but we want the swing states. Now, I mentioned in my last walk, I'll talk about it a little more. RFK went to the Kamala people and talked to them about possibly getting a position in the White House having to do with vaccines and other stuff. I don't know why he did that. He has been saying that the government is corrupt. Biden administration has been this, that, and the other thing. And I don't know why he was shocked that Kamala Harris paid him no attention whatsoever. Maybe RFK feels like Kamala's going to win the election. But Donald Trump, I'm going to go on the other side of the street now that I took my right correct turn this time. Now I've been hearing rumors about RFK's group talking with Trump about having a cabinet position and RFK dropping out of the race. So the 1% of the vote that was going to RFK that was coming from Trump's would end up going back to Trump. And the thing is, though, is RFK was polling at 5%. So if 1 and 1.5%, maybe 2% goes to Trump, where does the other 3% go? They might be people that don't like Kamala or Trump. They might end up voting for Jill Stein. So that's an undecided. My gut tells me that it'll boost Trump by a point or two. So, because you have to remember that polling for two-way is just Harris and Trump. But then if you break it down to the actual electorate and who's running, it's a five-way. Not in every state of the country, but you know, the last election in Maine, for example, we had 6 candidates. 2 of them I didn't even know were going to be on the ballot when I got it. So that's just what happens. It's a democratic process in a republic. We are not a democracy. So, but the point being, okay, is that's the reality of it. That's the truth of it. And Trump needs every vote advantage he can get anywhere he can find it. That's why he should just shut his face and talk about the economy, immigration, and the things people care about, and stop talking about female reporters that wrote something bad about him. That's really, it's not good. He needs to be disciplined. I thought getting shot in the ear would wake him up. You know, supposedly has this newfound born-again thing with God and all this other stuff, and a new appreciation of everything. And to be honest with you, he's not doing that. And I really hate to criticize Trump, because like I said, I love the guy. I'd die for him. I voted for him every election he's been in. We have an onion on the side of the road. Another one there, another one here, another one here. I don't know if animals eat those or not, but I'll throw them back out there. Don't know why there's randomly onions on the side of the road. Somebody might have thrown them out when they were driving by. Anyway, let me switch over cameras here. All right, people. Hi, it's J.Beau. How you doing? I just wanted to do a selfie stream for a little bit. And so anyway, like I was saying, you know, I love Trump like everybody else does. I've been to 5 rallies. Great time. Seeing some of the stuff since he's been president and since he's not been president we've never seen. Historic things we've never seen in our lifetime. And you know, so we have an opportunity right now in this country to turn everything around or send the whole country to hell in a Marxist, neo-Marxist hell. There's really no other way to say it. And you know, it's like, I really honestly firmly believe Trump's leading this election. He is going to win, but he needs to tighten things up and focus more, and I think he'll be fine. Because let's face it, Kamala is a very beatable candidate. Right now they're astroturfing her campaign. It's everything you see is fake. I know I sound like a conspiracy theorist, but she really did have people kick people out of a restaurant and bring in her own people on kind of a short bus to fill the background and look enthused about them being there. The other thing that I have pieced together is, remember I was talking about Kamala's rallies we saw on TV? They're all packed. Well, her website does RSVP only and ID. You need an ID and RSVP only to go. Now, I've been to 5 Trump rallies, and I explained it on my last walk, one of my last walks, that the only reason why they do that is they want to know who's interested in voting for Trump. That's part of a database. So when you have this database, people register with their email and phone number to have tickets either texted to them or emailed to them, and you have their name. That's goes into the database, and you can see how long there'll be a Trump supporter and who your core demographics are. So that's what the Trump campaign does with that. They also keep track on who loves firearms and who doesn't. The media tried to make that as a firearms registry, which it isn't. It's just a campaign database. Doesn't mean anything. Now, if the government was doing it, that'd be different. But anyway, Kamala's campaign, ID, RSVP only. Now, what possible reason would they have to do that? Well, that tells them how many people are going to be showing up for sure at a rally. Now, the Trump campaign, anybody can go to the website. You could live in Wisconsin. He's doing a rally, let's just say, he'll never do one, but let's say Connecticut. You go on his website and you register for 2 tickets. Assuming you're going to fly and go to Connecticut, okay? So chances are a lot of those people that sign up for tickets don't even go to the rally. So probably want to go and they end up not going. The Kamala campaign, you cannot go unless you have an ID and you registered RSVP. You will not be able to get in. So the only thing I could think of, the reason for doing that, would be that you would have to have knowledge of how many people you're going to have attending. And if you want to compete and make yourself look like the second Obama, and have the media promote you as competing with Trump because Trump's rallies are full, that you offer free Grammy award-winning artists to perform, and you bus in people to fill the holes. Now, there's video footage of buses showing up and homeless people getting off it and going inside to attend her rally. I'm not making that up, that happened. So, I don't know if they're paying them, promising them free meals for going. That's why you saw after the artist performed, people got up and left. So, that's why I believe they have the RSVP with ID only, just because they want to know how many people exactly are showing up, and then they know how many people to fill the holes with. Because she's done a couple of small talking things and campaign stumps, and she didn't have good attendance. So there is not the enthusiasm for her as they're making it look, and the polling is being messed with, and she is behind. She's not behind by a lot, okay? I would love to see between now and the election Trump blowing the doors off her, which could very well happen. There's rumors coming out now that Kamala has a drinking problem, and that's why she's not speaking with the media and doing pressers or doing very much in public. The couple things that she has done, one of them, she looked like she was a little tipsy. So that would explain a lot of her behavior. But again, that's just conjecture, that's rumor, call it conspiracy if you want to. That's just my opinion. I think she's had a drinking problem for a long time, and I think they know about that. That's why we never saw her as vice president, remember? She gave 3 or 4 really good press conferences as vice president in 2021 when they were new, and she did terribly on those. You can go back and watch them. One of them, it was very obvious she was drunk, and after that we didn't see her in public. So this is nothing new. We didn't see her as vice president either. She was invisible. So keep that in mind. There's something to this. It will get exposed. Kamala Harris has made a lot of people angry that have worked for her because she's a nasty person. She's not a nice person. She belittles people. She's had several staff people quit. She's impossible to deal with. And I think what we're going to see is a bunch of people coming out saying, well, she's impossible to deal with because one minute she's fine, and then later in the day she's been drinking, and blammo. And anybody that knows anybody that has a drinking problem, you know what I'm talking about. This is something everybody has experienced with relatives or people they're close to. So, alcoholics are not fun, and I don't want an alcoholic with their finger on the friggin' button, okay? I just don't. That scares me more than Biden. So we'll get that word out. Somebody is going to come forward. Somebody will come forward. It's inevitable. And so the media is going to run with the usual anti-Trump stuff, and I just don't think it's going to be enough for them because people can't afford to eat. Things went up again in prices, so I just really think it's a matter of time. So anyway, as we see, we've got an absolutely beautiful overcast day. Now typically when you have overcast days you have to worry about rain, or it gets chilly when the sun's gone. But I'm sweating pretty good right now. My eyebrows are wet, and this actually feels good with a slight breeze. So it's actually a good day to walk. So anyway, I'm going to swap back over to my head camera, and thanks for walking with me. Alright everybody. I swapped over to the head cam. We'll be coming up on 4 miles shortly. That's a nice little cottage. Oh, actually 3.5 miles. I'm at 3.5 miles. So we have walked up this route before, coming the other way. This is where we saw those trees tapped for maple syrup in the spring. And we saw llamas. And one day we saw a rabid fox acting weird, running around for no reason in the daytime, which they're nocturnal animals. You see them in the daytime, it's usually stay away from them. You could get attacked. So I got a doggy barking at me. So I thought that was really cool. We saw those 2 kids on scooters with their fishing poles. That is pretty cool. Put that on the list of stuff we didn't have when we were kids that I wish we would have. But to be honest with you, if we would have had electric scooters, I probably would not be alive right now. Or they probably wouldn't have lasted long. Because we had the old Schwinn bicycles, which I'm sure everybody's familiar with, in the 60s and 70s. Those things were like tanks. We used to build ramps and jump like Evel Knievel. Remember Evel Knievel? I used to love Evel Knievel when I was a kid. And I remember when I was a kid, I always thought, why do they call him evil? He's not evil at all. He was on TV shows, TV series, you know, popular TV series. He'd be on there as a guest appearance. There'd be some kind of story focused around a stunt cyclist, maybe some kind of murder or investigation going on. So the good old days. Now I absolutely hate TV, I hate the media, I hate all these corporations that are trying to destroy everything that we grew up with. Trying to destroy Christianity. They've created a younger generation of anti-Semites. And it's really a terrible thing. The only way they're going to lose is at their own hand, and I hope that's happening. I really do. I mean, look at what they've done to the Democratic Party. Who do they have? They don't have these amazing people, with the exception of maybe 2, 3 governors. And by the way, the 3 best Democrats, you're not going to be able to name them because they're just governing their state and they're not interested in the media headlines and national headlines. So that's the first clue that they're a good Democrat. But the problem with that is they're not taking the bribes. And what I mean by that is they're not getting in favor with the media. Oh, look at that. See that? We got free cucumbers. How cool is that? Free cucumbers. Actually, you know what? I'm going to take a free cucumber. I am going to take a free cucumber. Oh, yes. Look at that. We got a free cucumber. Fresh off somebody's farm out here. It's my cucumber and I'm taking it home. So we got an apple tree here. I don't know how big these are going to get. This is going to be a really nice walk this fall, especially that nice view we had after walking down that wood plank road. That's going to be a really nice view. Picture it, that whole hillside and those mountains out there are going to be on fire with orange, red, yellows. It's going to be absolutely beautiful, and I am going to make sure I walk up this way enough times to get the best peak foliage that Maine is famous for and get some really good photographs and video. So stay tuned for that, as we have camping wood. If you need a campfire wood, $5 a bundle. So this is that field we saw wild turkeys in not long ago. On the left here. Right out that way. That is going to be such a nice view also. I'm telling you, this is going to be a nice fall foliage route. This is going to be very cool. I'm excited about it, actually. So we'll be walking through here. There'll be leaves on the road. Cars go by and you'll see the leaves blow behind them. And we'll be walking and leaves will be falling like snow once in a while. And this will all be like beautiful colors. And look, we are seeing some early detection here. Leaves changing colors. So that's a very early. It is August 20th today. We got a little bit less than 2 weeks. A little bit less than 2 weeks. Before you know it, we'll be having presidential debates. Or a debate. I'm telling you, they're going to try to hide. They're going to try to hide Kamala for the election. I don't know how successful that's going to be. Now, if she doesn't have a good debate against Trump, then oh, look at that. That's new. Now, if she doesn't have a good debate against Trump, then you're going to see more of her in public, because that'll mean she needs to protect her poll. But You see all these cables? These were here before, but those are new with those yellow markings. Stabilizing cables. As we had those storms this winter and the power went out, and I'm wondering, I didn't come up this way to see, but maybe those suffered damage and they're reinforcing them. Because this is on our main electrical grid. This runs all the way up to Canada. We do get some hydropower from Canada. Canada would be that way, by the way. North. That's south. That heads to Massachusetts, Connecticut. They get some of their power from Canada through Maine. So I think one of the things that really makes me feel disheartened with Democrats and their authoritarianism, and now they're turning Marxist, is, you know, they have strongholds in Rhode Island, Massachusetts, Connecticut, New York, and, you know, Maine is still kind of a purple state. You know, it's like the founding fathers came from Philadelphia. They used to be the capital. And, you know, so much history, so much bloodshed, so much strife we had to go through to be a nation and remain a nation with the Civil War, only to have these fucking godless heathens fuck everything up like they're fucking everything up. And excuse my fucking French, but these people are fucking evil. I've had it with these people. And, you know, I didn't mean that outburst. My apologies. But they are ruining everything that we grew up with and love and admire. Perfect example of that, I saw a film clip earlier. This guy in a Porsche was at a red light in a big city. And he didn't see the person crossing with an electric scooter because, you know, a lot of these people on electric scooters, you can go up to 20 miles an hour with that. Now, granted, you should be watching them like, you know, they're on bicycles, and granted, the guy in the Porsche, it was probably his fault for not paying attention, but he had stopped to let somebody walk across, and then he decided to go, and just as he went, he knocked the guy off a scooter. The guy got off his scooter, and the guy in the Porsche was just sitting there like, okay, well, I'm sorry. And the guy in the scooter got angry, picked up his scooter and slammed it down on the hood of his Porsche. Broke a piece of his accoutrements around the outside of the Porsche, or broke a piece off of the scooter, and the guy threw it on the windshield of the car, said some expletives, and took off. Now, when you and I were younger, something like that happened, that person would have pulled over, you would have had a discussion about it, you would have talked about possible damages, maybe you know, like one time a guy brought my bicycle and bought a new tire. So nowadays, you know, the attitude people have is, you did something to me, I have to do something to get you back. That's what I took from that exchange. The person in the car that hit the guy in the scooter didn't care that he hit the guy in the scooter, and the guy in the scooter got mad about that and got him back by damaging his car. So that's just behavior that is now prevalent, that, you know, didn't used to exist, or if it did, it wasn't that much. It was in probably the big cities like Chicago, New York, places like that. It's probably always been like that. They're a lot worse now. And so I don't know, man. I don't have all the answers, but I do know that things are broken. I gotta change my battery right now, so I gotta put my cucumber in my pocket. Is that a cucumber in your pocket, or are you happy to see me? I'll be right back. Alrighty. Well, that was unfortunate. For some of this walk, I had the camera on the narrow setting. I think I had the boost on for stabilization, but I did not have the horizon correction on. So I put it on linear with horizon right now, so it should look a little different than it did before I changed the battery. So this will be interesting to do a compare. It should still be fine. I'm sure everything recorded well. But I had the lens setting on narrow, which is basically the same as a cell phone video. Linear is a little better because it's like widescreen, but it removes it crops about 10% off the side where the trees bend in the middle and stuff. So anyway, I'm squared away now. We're gonna hang a right up here. I see a Trump flag flying. We are in a Trump district. I'm in a Trump district. This is a Trump district. I'm anxious to vote. Early voting is going to be starting in Pennsylvania, if not already. I think I was under the understanding it would be a couple days before the debate in September that early voting starts. So hey buddy. Happy little dog sitting there. And he's just sitting there having fun. So I'm at 4.5 miles. I'm at 4.5 miles now. So the thing is you know, we have a flag outside on our property, and we've had a couple of expletives yelled at us. Both times yelled at me. Both times it was young white females, liberal females who hate Trump with a passion. So the expletive I heard was the F word followed by racist. So I was an effing racist for having a Trump flag. So there you have it. But we did install new video surveillance, and it is a Maine law where if somebody destroys your property, they will be charged if you have them on video doing it. So in the last election in 2020, some woman got caught with a car full of Trump signs. They went around the neighborhoods, probably neighborhoods like this, stealing Trump signs. I don't know why they bother doing that. Trump's got a 20-point lead, so it certainly isn't anything that's going to affect any voting. It won't change the election. It's just vindictive stupidness. And of course, she was an angry, liberal, white female. It's always the virtue signaling liberal white females. They're the ones that shove the mask in your face during COVID. They're the ones that cause all these problems. I don't know what the hell it is with these people, but I have no idea. Very strange. But, you know, that's also why I don't wear my MAGA hat when I walk. So far, my MAGA hat has only been used when I've gone to Trump rallies. I don't know if I'll ever be going to another one. Doesn't look like Trump really has a chance in New Hampshire this year, so he may opt to just campaign in Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin, and I would support that because, you know, if you're not going to win New Hampshire, you're not going to win New Hampshire. No point in wasting money there for rallies. I'd rather see him campaign in Wisconsin or what have you, where it matters. So here's another tree right here. You'll notice the top of the tree is starting to get discolored, a little yellow and orange. I'm wondering if we're going to have an early fall foliage. We get some red coming out on this maples. We did not have a lot of rain this year. Last year we had way too much rain, and we're already starting to see leaves on the ground. Look at that. That's the early signs of fall in Maine. We experience it here before much of the other country, the rest of the country, because we're basically up in Canada, or would be part of Canada if you drew a straight line across from Ontario through underneath Quebec straight to New Brunswick. Maine would be gobbled up by Canada. So we're far enough up north to actually be in a parallel line with the Canadian border over Michigan. So anyways, we are seeing for the first time the early start to an early fall, it looks like. Very interesting. I looked at the weather forecast for the next 2 weeks, and in the next 10 days it's going to be 80 degrees or better after this next couple days of 70, 75. So summer's not done yet, but it's on its last legs. That is for sure. But you'll get to see it with me, because I'll make sure I take this route again. Like I said a little while ago, we'll see some beautiful foliage this year. It's got that kind of feeling to it because we haven't been drowned in rain. Now that's not to say that this fall is going to be one of the wettest ones we've ever had. There's nothing worse than, and it happens sometimes, but we'll have something like all the leaves will be turning, it'll be beautiful, and then we'll get some kind of weather event with a lot of wind, and it'll blow the leaves off the trees, and it ruins the foliage. Doesn't happen often, okay, but it can happen. We do get the tail end of hurricanes here sometimes. We'll have 60, 70 mile an hour winds with a lot of rain, and we have had a couple of hurricanes go right into New Hampshire, about 60 to 70 miles away from us. 80 miles, I believe, to the direct western border of Maine to New Hampshire. You drew a straight line from here. In fact, we're on exit 80 here, which is the 80-mile marker from the New Hampshire border. So kind of interesting. Looking over my shoulder for cars. Peripheral vision. Yep, another weed shop gone out of business. They built too many weed shops here too quickly. We just hit 5 miles. So that last time when I took a wrong turn, I ended up walking 9 miles. When all was said and done. I just found a bottle of Sprite that's going to the shooting range with us. You know, I really should get in the habit of just bringing my backpack. I really should. And the other reason why I should wear my backpack, to be honest with you, is I have an LL Bean backpack, and it has a reflector on the back for, you know, headlights, and people driving can see me, so I should probably wear that. So lately, you know, talk about something different. So I've been seeing a lot of people dying suddenly between 30 and 60. Enough to get my attention. At least 4 people on the internet that I knew through social media. And you know, yeah, I get it. You know, some people just drop dead, but it's happening too often, you know. I'm not going to upset the YouTube algorithm, but you know, a lot of people went and got the Wiener Schnitzel, I'll call it, you know what I'm talking about, during the pandemic. It's a terrible thing. I mean, it's very obvious was not safe and effective. It wasn't, and it's a damn shame what they did. I don't have anything else to say to that. Nothing I can say is going to change anything, so it's one of those things. And you know, that's the other thing too, is they had different batches. Doesn't affect everybody. Some people really went and got a lot of the boosters. Even now they're still getting boosted for that. It's like, I don't know why. They've been issuing COVID in the media again. And you know, you have to understand, the media gets a lot of their money from big pharma advertising. So, you know, they advertise things that are sponsoring them. So they're talking about COVID, and at the end of the article, if you read it, it's nowhere near as dangerous as it was before. They just wanted to get the information that people should go buy a booster. So I don't know, teach their own. If you feel you need one, go get one. If you don't, then don't. I think it's a scam. I don't need it. And that's it. So anyways, I'll head back to the ranch. Have something to eat. All I had before this walk was a little bit of rice and vegetables. But hey, we got a free damn cucumber. How awesome is that? More Trump flags. Got them in their window instead of outdoors. Wondering if somebody ripped their flag down. I've been debating about whether it's time for me to wear my Trump hat. Now I got a couple of relatives that say, no, don't do that. Go out on your walks, you could get attacked. And yeah, that could happen. That could very well happen. But you don't want to live in fear either. You know, that's what they count on. That's why they do that. It's intimidation, so you don't display support for Trump. So that's why I should wear one. If that makes sense. I'll think about it. I mean, yeah, you know, I carry protection and this, that, but the whole point is you want to try to avoid confrontation. And I'm not hearing about hate crimes in Maine towards Trump. And this is a district Trump leads in by 20. But at the same time, there's been a couple of instances, people driving by, and I've actually had a Trump sign ripped off the property and crumpled up and thrown away in the back of it. So those people do exist. I just think the likelihood of somebody doing something while I'm wearing it would be different than if I left it outside on a mannequin. If you get what I mean. Because a lot of these people are pretty much cowards, which is why they do things when you're not looking. So I'll see what happens. Plus I record my walks on video, so I would definitely have video evidence if somebody started something. And I would also have video supporting me if I should end up in a courtroom for shooting somebody. Which I absolutely would never ever want to do. Hope that never happens, ever. So, but sometimes things go south. So anyway, everybody, I'm going to end this walk right now. I'm going to thank you for walking with me. Really hope you enjoyed it. We had some nice views, and we also got a free cucumber. We got a free cucumber out of the deal. So have a beautiful, beautiful day, friends. We'll see you on the next walk. God bless you, and click like and subscribe, and share the content. Bye-bye, everybody. God bless America. God bless you and your family.